energy, enthusiasm, bright eyes. That was his way of being, you know. The enthusiasm that he was putting in everything he was doing on the court. He was interested, he was open, it was just an energetic personality. When he came to Bologna, he came to a team that was full of great players and also veteran players. From day one, I think for his work ethic and for his ability to face challenges and take responsibilities and being respectful, I think he earned immediate respect. We signed him to be our first player off the bench because Sasha Danilovic, the legendary Yugoslavian players, decided to retire all of a sudden. Manu was pushed in the starting five, but this was kind of natural, meaning that the way he was playing, performing, and behaving earned immediate respect again. That's the thing that really hit me from first day. I always remember his first EuroLeague game. He went, I think, scoreless from the field. He just scored a few free throws. And 5 months later, he was the MVP of the finals. And that happened 3-4 times in that season, that when he was facing some challenge, but then he was working hard and keeping his confidence and move up to the next level and then keep growing. That always surprised me, always.
It was a blast. I mean, for me, unfortunately, I was kind of at the end of my career, and he was just getting started. So I would have loved to play more years with him. But getting to know him as a person and watching his style of play made me feel like this team is in really good hands. I mean, obviously, Tim Duncan was already a great foundation, but then you add a Tony Parker and a Manu Ginobili, and I could retire feeling like, okay, this is going to keep going for a while. I know as a dad, right, you're always looking for, you want your kids to emulate the good guys. I took that very seriously as a player and as a kind of a media personality. I tried to be, a good example. We've had guys on our team, I think, who have taken it very, very seriously. And Manu is one of those guys. Manu is a guy, worldwide. I mean, I don't care where you're from. He's a guy that you could look up to. He's a guy that could be an example for you as a guy that kind of made it from the outside coming in, a guy that's doing it right while he's there, a guy that's doing all the right things on and off the court. And I think worldwide, Manu just became a great, great role model. And to this day, they're my son's heroes. And my sons are grown men now, but that's what they've been fortunate enough to grow up around. And I think it has shaped who they've become. And as a father, I've benefited from having great quality and quality people on the Spurs and great success.
We beat the Dallas Mavericks and advanced to the NBA championship in Dallas, a game that we were not expected to win.
Ginobili with a sensational kick. This is unbelievable. Everybody's off the Spurs bench.
And we won that game, and we came back. We get out of the plane, and it's midnight, and there was a sea of people, 5, 6, 7,000, pick a number, waiting for the plane to land. And you look across, and you see Manu addressing the fans of San Antonio, and the first few sentences, paragraphs that come out of his mouth are all in Spanish. And the reaction was, I get goosebumps telling the story, was just overwhelming. And you could see for me the first time in real terms the connection to this city because of the things that we've spoken about, his talents, his personality, his courage. And then he was one of theirs, everybody could relate. Just emotional, overwhelming response to, being around him, to seeing him put his sort of light for me in a different perspective, and it was an incredible experience.
The one moment we were like, okay, there is no way we're losing that game is when Manu got up and, what was it, 38 by the time, 37-year-old. And dunk on Chris Bosh.
He'll drive it inside. Manu all the way in, left hand slam dunk. Wow! Manu, that is why you do the voodoo that you do so well.
And so that would show all the will that his team had and I've had since the beginning of the season. And maybe because all the frustration from the season before and from losing the year before, that could show during that play, during that big dunk. Everybody really wanted some redemption, and Manu, of course, was a big part of it because he was a veteran that already know a lot about how to go and get the championship and paying attention to details, and so it's somebody that is really hard on himself in the game, and he's also expecting from his teammates, and he was pushing everybody to play at their best.
One thing I always look back on is that first year, his rookie year, 2003, when we won the championship.
Bad pass, Ginobili, going to try to run it out. Keeps coming, layups, good for Ginobili on the steal.
I was 37 years old, and after the parade, we had a celebration. First, the Riverwalk, but then we went to the Dome, and our fans were there, and we addressed the fans at the Dome on the stage. And as we were leaving, he pulled me aside and he goes, "Hey, I really hope you come back and play next year." And that meant a lot to me. Here's this guy who's a emerging star, and I'm I'm an old man. I'm like, I've had enough, right? I can barely move anymore. And he comes and he puts his arm around me and goes, hey, I loved having you as a teammate. I really want you to come back and play. That still makes me feel good. So he knew what to say. So the last game of Manu's career was at Oracle, Game 5 of our series, and I grabbed Manu on his way off the floor. Maybe subconsciously I was telling him the same thing he was telling me, 16 years ago, whatever it was. Like, hey, I hope you keep playing just because, I like seeing you out there.
Gracias, Manu.
Gracias, Manu.
Merci, Manu.
Gracias, Manu, my friend.